So I'm recording. I'm going to share my screen. And what do I want to share? Well, we always start every class with the syllabus. Let me enlarge it. If you can't see something, let me know. Those of you who had me in the classroom last semester, if you don't slow me down, I will just keep going. But if you ask a question and slow me down, I'm okay. I will stop and answer that question. All right, 161. Here we go. We're excited. If you had me before, which almost all of you have, this looks familiar. It's the same layout as what you had for the classroom in the spring, and most of it's going to be similar to even if you were online, excuse me, in the fall, not the spring. Okay, but we will be doing remote learning. I keep attendance. I showed you, or I didn't show you. I'm showing you my attendance sheet. I write it down. My goal is to keep 90+% attendance in the class. That usually happens. So it's one of those where you are ComSci people, you are interested, and you show up. And hopefully you showing up, I give you your money's worth by showing up. Down here under class, the Zoom link is there on the syllabus just in case, but otherwise you have it on D2L. If one day your D2L is not working, you can grab your syllabus and get into the Zoom meeting that way. Already talked about the webcam. I like when they're on, it's easier for me to see people and participate and so on, but please keep them on when you're in the discussion room especially. Course description, we're going to do 2 languages. We're going to go and review some of your Java while learning C++. But along the way, the big idea of this course is getting you to start writing code before you start typing. Start to think about a problem. Start to look at, here's my test data that I'd like to use in the program, and how do I algebraically work with it so that I understand what I have to type in the program, instead of just typing a bunch of stuff up and, you know, not doing any good. Textbook is listed there. It's the 9th edition. You notice it's Gaddis again. Same author as you had in the 121 book. One of the differences, he calls them programs instead of code listings. I'm going to still refer to them as code listings, and you're going to do code listings for this course. Learning outcomes, something that you can read on your own. Points. In my Java class, we had about 1,100 points. You notice in this class, we're down to about 700 points. Okay, there's the code listings again. There's the programs, there's tests, and a final exam. The one thing that's missing is quizzes. You won't have quizzes in here like you did in Java. Some people benefit from the quizzes, some hate them, some forget to take them, which happens a lot. Test, going to be just like you had in 121. Whether you were online or in my remote class, you know you had to sign in, turn your webcam on, and off you would go. My hope is you're taking this class because you are a ComSci major, you're interested in this class, you want to do well, and testing is a way to find out for yourself, do I know what I'm talking about or not? But I'm going to do my best to make sure you don't cheat, and we'll get more information about the test when we get a little bit closer. Assignments, these are your programs. You're going to have about 11 or 12 of them, just like you did in 121. Some of the early ones, you're going to be using JGrasp and for your Java, and something that I recommend is Bloodshed for your C++ programs. Okay, you see a link there. Bloodshed is available at blah, 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 blah. In a couple of minutes, I'm going to have you download that so that we all have it and we can start right away with getting up and running. No late programs. 1202, no, please don't email them like, please, can you accept this? That's not cool. And make sure they compile. It's hard to grade something that's just a bunch of lines of code. Code listings, same as before. I think they were called programs before. Academic dishonesty. You know, you're encouraged to ask me, to ask classmates, to ask tutors for help, to help you understand the material. Where you get into trouble is using that help on an actual program that you're turning in or on a test. You know, it needs to be your original work. Don't be going to Chegg, because remember, I can go to Chegg as well. I can always copy a block of code out of your program and Google it and find out if you took it from somewhere else, you know, and if you do, then I kick you out of class with an F. It's zero tolerance. So it's not worth it. Don't take the chance. And we'll go from there. Tutoring, you should be able to get some. There's a link, you'll sign up. I talked to my 162 students, which is your next class, asking a couple of them to, you know, if you're interested, sign up for tutoring so that they're available to help you. What you're going to find, I think, is you're going to like a lot of the breakout stuff that we do, and you're going to get to know people in this class. There'll be times you go into breakout rooms and you'll have a quick conversation about something else before you do what I task you to do. If you miss 15% of your classes, I can withdraw you. So please show up so that I don't have to be emailing you, begging you, where were you, and so on. If you're going to miss class, let me know by email before class. That's greatly appreciated. Most of you should be familiar, if not all, about the withdrawal policy. You take care of that. Nothing that I need to do. You have up to like the 70% mark of the class. I don't know what the actual date is, but you will do your withdrawal in where you signed up with the class and everything like that. A lot of you already know, if you send an email to me, I get back to you pretty quick. A couple of other things going on there. If you have accommodations, you will probably already know, but if you have accommodations from a doctor or something, you can contact these folks down below. There's a list. Here's one for Harrisburg/virtual. Some folks get extended time. Some folks get to be in a quiet room, which our room will actually be quiet when we're testing. You won't, you know, everybody will be on mute. But if you have those accommodations, that's who you can contact. Course outline, there's the 28 days. You can kind of see by day 8, we'll be having our first test on 6 chapters. Well, the first chapter really doesn't count. And you're going to find out that you understand the concepts. You just need to learn the new language. So we're going to be covering some of those chapters fairly quickly. 9 is an extremely important chapter, but you'll see similarities and you'll see differences between Java and C++. Any questions about the syllabus? No? Cool. Let's do, let me go to,
So someone asked in the chat if the 8th edition of the textbook would work.
I'm pretty sure it will. There may be some things that are off, like I post review question answers. They'll be for the 9th edition and they could be different than the 8th. Things like that could occur. But overall, you should be okay with it. Submitting programs. A lot of you learned part way through the 121 class that, you know, now you're getting to a point you need to understand. I want your program submitted with your initials in. One semester, I had a student who was submitting programs and it wasn't his initials and it was different initials. And I went back to the class 2 semesters before, and it must have been his buddy, just gave him all the programs. He didn't do anything except change the name inside the program, forgot to change the initials, and I had to say goodbye. So he was out of the class, and you know, he pulled my dad has cancer, I have to explain it to him. Well, you folks need to think about your consequences before you you know, make bad decisions. Only submit programs that compile and run. Documentation in the beginning of the program, the name, the date, the program purpose, all of those different things that need to go there. Documented internally and externally. In 121, you got to using GUIs, and we were all happy about GUIs. Well, in 161, we're we're stuck with a console window that pops up. I call it the black screen of death, but we'll quickly, I'll teach you how to manipulate that so that it looks nice. Once you learn something, use it. Don't be afraid to use it. Do not expect me to be available to answer emails. If the programs due at midnight on Sunday, which a lot of viewers are or were, don't email me at 6 o'clock on Sunday night, because who knows if I'm going to be online or not. Okay, you have plenty of time to do the programs. Get started early. Don't wait till the last minute. Do not email programs after the due date. Don't send it at 12. And then this one says, do not email. Oh, look at that. It's a different font. And then finally, there's another different font. Do not send emails late. And I think you got the idea there. Good. What's next? What's next? Let's go to, let me see if I can find my D2L. And I can't. Da, 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 da. Might be this screen, except that's not the one I want. I want the one that's right up there. Ta-da! There's our D2L site. Okay. If you took 121 with me, it looks pretty much exactly the same. Okay. Some things I want to point out down here under the news, and this little show all news items. If you start falling behind, not checking, make sure you scroll down so you can see all the Zoom items. Let's see what else we got on. Algorithm writing. I'm going to have you download that in a little bit. Over here on the right side, if you want to schedule an office hour, all you have to do is click here. Then it'll put you in something called Calendly. You pick the date, you pick the time. I get an email, you get an email. It's all set up and I know when to meet you during my office hour. If you need to meet a different time, for example, the office hours don't work, just communicate to me by email and we'll see what we can do. This Zoom link, y'all know that because y'all clicked on that to get into my class. Under content, what do we have? We have some good stuff here. Syllabus and the submission. I just showed both of those to you. PowerPoints, there's PowerPoints to go along with each chapter. And we're going to look at chapter 2s a little bit today. And review question answers. Again, if you use that 8th edition, you may have review question answers that are different. Submissions. So this is one that becomes really, really popular in 161. After you are done with a program and the due date is passed for that program, upload it here. Because you're going to find folks in 161 are going to be more interested than what they were in 121. Because there are people that need just one ComSci course. They take it and they're done. You folks are now starting to need a second. You're really on the bubble of, do I want to be a ComSci major or it's required for another degree? So you're going to be, so this assignment discussion, you're going to find, hopefully, more and more people posting their programs after the due date is passed. Great place to learn tips, tricks, different ways to do things. As always, here are the chapters. And a lot of times in class, we'll be working on something in chapter 2. You'll be in a breakout room. You finish it. Go post it on the discussion board for other folks to look at. Go to the discussion board if you miss class. I'll have the videos posted for the day, but you may also want to go look at the actual code that was worked on in the day, and maybe someone will have posted it on there. So far, so good? Yep. All right, good. Dropbox, this is where your assignments are going to be. Your view is going to look a little bit different than mine, but I see already there's a review assignment that you folks, I have a killer dachshund in the house. Going to kill everybody. Review assignment, the first one is already available. And like last semester, all of your code listings are now available. Again, in the C++ book, they're called programs. They're not called code listings, but they're the exact same thing as before. Okay, you type them up and you upload them, make sure they compile and run, you get the point. Class list. Oh, I worked with so-and-so and I wanted to get in contact with them. You can come in and hopefully you remember their name. because not many people put their pictures up, only about 5. But then you can send an email and get in contact with them if you want. You have your grades. Yours is going to look way different than mine. And quizzes. And once again, we'll be doing the quizzes just like you did last semester. You will sign in during class time. You'll put your webcam on. I'm crossing my fingers for integrity. I'll give you the password and you'll take the test right on the screen. And I think I have it set up that you can see your results from the multiple choice, but I'll still go in and grade the free response. And as most of you know, I get them done that day, if not the next day. But I would say 90% of the time or more, I grade test right away. Because if I took a test, I want to know what I got on it. And I'm sure you feel the same way. So far, so good still. Not many yawns. I'm kind of liking that. All right, let's see what else. I see a puppy. Yes, Julie, I see your puppy. Is your puppy not barking though, right? I have 3 of them here. So a leaf could blow down the street and they lose their minds. Let's see, what do I want to do next? I cannot find it. Bear with me for 1 second. So, I hit a bad button. Let me get out of this for a second. All right, under D2L, what am I doing? Am I sharing? I'm not sharing. Okay, I got that. I want to close this. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. Under D2L, when we were just there a moment ago, you saw something that said algorithm writing, okay? And that's this PDF that I have. And I'm going to share that because I have it up. But if you want to go download it, you can. Sorry, I'm having a moment of trouble here. I'm usually much better than this. And I just don't see that PDF. So I'm going to have to go here and I'm going to have to open it up through here. As soon as this goes up, launch meeting, I believe it's right here. Okay, can you see my screen? Now, one of the things you're going to learn in this course is to write an algorithm. And what I'm really going to get down to is you're going to start by not typing, which is a habit. And it's going to be hard to break for a lot of you. But by starting with, okay, here's what the program wants. I'm going to create some test data. And once I do the test data, and then I might be doing the algebra to go along with it. And while I'm doing that, I may write down some code so that once I have that code available, all I have to do is go in and type it up. Okay, just go in and type it up. Well, this thing that we're talking about, that middle step between test data and actually the program, is called algorithm writing. And for the first few assignments you have, you're going to have to submit an algorithm to go along with it. And early on, they're going to be nice and easy. But this is a habit I'm going to get you into by the end of this course that's really going to pay off when you get into 162. But what is writing an algorithm? An algorithm is also called pseudocode. It's like code, but it's in your words. Is this official algorithm writing? No, but it might be something close. Look at the algorithm for average. I know I need to set sum to 0. I need to set count to 0. And then I know I need to go through and read in the numbers one at a time. So I might have some kind of loop. Looks like while numbers is greater than 0. That means how am I getting out of this loop? What would I be entering?
An infinite loop?
Well, it's not an infinite loop because you see I have the line. Oh, wait, I can do this. I can go right here. Each time in the loop, I ask for a new number. But what type of number would kick me out of that loop?
Negative.
Negative, right? And we call that a sentinel value. A sentinel value. So when a negative number is entered, I get out. But every time I input a number, I want to add it to sum. I want to increment to 1. Then when I get out, I may say something like, well, if count is greater than 0, then output sum divided by count, and it prints the average. Otherwise, no numbers were entered because the first number entered may have been a -1. So if I handed that to you, how easy would that be to type into JGrasp or to type into C++, Dev C++? That's easy, right? Once you have that layout of what your lines look like, that's the hard part. You're going to find it's going to be easier to do here than actually typing the program. How can I do arrays? How can I do, all kinds of different things? There's an example. What if I said, here's another way to find average. Say I know how many numbers there are, input count, go through, add them all up, and I can print average. Here's the classic example. Enter your name, hours, and rate. And you can go through and figure out regular pay versus overtime pay. But this is just algorithm. It's simple. It's not super duper detail. Okay, and I think so. This page is available for you to reference if you want. But as we go through, I'll keep giving class examples, and you'll see how things get easier and easier to work with. Okay, so Dev C++. Let's see if I go here and I go back to where I was over here and I come up and I open a new window and I type Dev C++ on my search, and I want to get ready to download it. And I'm going to go to right here, sourceforge.net, and I'm going to download Dev C++. So what I want you to do now is all of you go ahead and get started. We're going to take a couple minutes to download it, and hopefully we can get it up and running and we'll all be good. Okay, this is Bloodshed's Dev C++. It's no longer supported, which means they haven't had version 9 point whatever come up, but it works pretty well for what we're going to do in this class. Another option, VS Code. A couple of folks use VS Code for Java. You can also use VS Code for C++. I use Dev C++, this Bloodshed version. Thomas, how are you making out? Do you already have it? You're muted. Do you already have Dev C++? I'm sorry?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I downloaded it a bit ago.
Cool.
When I first
All right,
came.
so once you download it, I want you to type in code listing 2.5 on page 33. So hopefully me sending you the syllabus last week, you were able to get the book so that you're ready for the first day. I understand there might be 1 or 2 folks that don't have it. But what I'm going to do to cover that is I'm going to have somebody who has the book and is typing it up, share their screen so that you can work on your own.
You said 2.5, correct?
Yes, again, it's program 2.5, but we're calling them code listings. So on page 33. Zara, I know one person that used JGrass to do their dev C++, to do C++, but they had to make a whole bunch of changes inside of it. They had to change a bunch of settings in order for it to work. So I don't know if you want to give that a try. Could become pretty frustrating if you can't get it to work right away.
Okay, Professor, thank you.
Mhm. Is there someone who has Bloodshed up and running and they're typing in 2.5 that they could just share their screen in case somebody doesn't have the book?
I can share my screen.
Cool,
I
thanks.
got it. Let's see, how do I do that? Oop, here we go. All right, can you see it?
Yep,
All right. So 2.5, right?
yep. Now, can you do Control++? You know what Control++ will do? Yeah, there you go. Thank you.
That Control++ didn't do that. That was
Oh.
Control mouse wheel up.
Oh, that might explain why that screws up on my computer once in a while, because I think I've done that and not realized how I did it. A well-adjusted printing program. Pound include iOS stream. The pound include is called a preprocessor directive, which we've kind of seen before. The iOS stream, you should be guessing iOS and streaming. That's going to help me with my input and my output, reading from the keyboard and displaying with the console. Using namespace std is something new. What that is, it gives you basically a workspace to store the variables that you create when we have different names. Nathan, up in line 5, you have IND instead of int.
Typo.
There we go. C out. Well, this is how I do my output. The C out's going to display the string literal that follows.
What is this weird operator here? Because
The
when I
left-
look at that, I see like a bit shift operator, but I'm assuming that's not what it is.
That's not what it is. No. Do you remember in Java, we used a plus sign for concatenation to build things? So it's kind of like that, but yeah, it allows us to do the C out. For output, it's going to be 2 less thans. For input, it's going to be 2 greater thans. Nathan's feeling pretty good, but I know he's going to compile the program and go, uh-oh.
Oop, it's continued on the next page.
Oh, yeah.
Quite. Let's see if this runs. How do I run this?
It won't. Okay, you see the 4 separated blocks up top, the little icon with the 4 separated blocks? Keep going to your right.
This one?
Hover over that.
All right.
That's compile. Yep, yeah, you might as well save it.
Let me just save that to my desktop for now.
And you notice unlike Java, I don't say public class in the name that I'm going to use to save it with. And if it gives me an error on the line and it puts me at the beginning of the line, it probably means I have a problem at the end of the previous line.
Okay, so what did I screw up here?
Use your semicolon at line 7
Thank you.
after.
There we go.
There you go. Compiles. Now you can also click on the 4 connected blocks that's over 2 to the right. That will compile and run. Right there. And you also see the hotkey, which is the shortcut for it.
Here we go. Wait,
Okay.
can you guys see this?
It
guess
goes
I'm
off
not.
our screen real quick. Did it stay on for you?
Yeah, I see like a black terminal window. Can you not see
Yeah.
that?
Yep, that's our console window. That's our black screen of death. How are we making out, folks?
You want
Anybody?
me, like, can you see this? Or
When you run it, I can't see it because it clicks off so quick. But others might be able to. All
hold
right.
on, let me see if I can share that. Let me just share my whole screen. See if that works. All right, now can you see it?
Now we can see it. So that's the black screen of death. And I'm telling you up front, I don't like the white text real tiny on a black screen. So eventually we're going to be doing things like, you know, go back to your program. In front of the following, this capital T in the following, what would allow me, excuse me, to do, ENDL. What's that? What is that? That's my carriage return. Okay. Before we had print and printlins when we were working with the, so the ENDL is a way for me to do a carriage return. What was another way to do a carriage return?
Like this?
/n.
/n, yeah. So in front of the T in the, put like 3 /n's. No, the in front of the T, not after it.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Mhm. Okay, so now when you run it, it's going to move it down at least a little bit out of that upper corner, right? So /n was one of those escape sequence characters. And we had a couple of them when we were working in the console. Does anybody remember another one?
\T. I think.
Yeah, so if I wanted to get all those off the left side, I may be able to put some /t's inside of there. So now after those 3 /n's, put 2 /t's. Yeah, so, you know, that would indent it and get me started. And you see, okay, tab works. All of a sudden, it's starting to get a little bit nicer. And like I said, in a little while, I'll teach you how to change the background color, the font type, the font size, you know, different things like that you can do. But, you know, where we are now, we're just playing, hopefully while waiting for everyone to get caught up. Those escape sequences are in fact listed in the book. All right, still taking a look at this program that's in front. I see cout, and the cout is all lowercase. Again, you're starting to get into a common programming standard of how you type things. And all the reserved words are going to be like cout, return, namespace using. They're going to all be those lowercase words, okay? When we create variable names, we're going to do them just like before. Go up to line 6 and put a couple of enters in. Just hit return. All right, go up. Now, what was the first and most important data type we had in 121?
Integer?
Int. Yep. So let's see if int works. Int space. Give me a variable num1. Foo. Foo
Yeah.
equals 42. All right, let's see if int works. Go up and compile int. or go up and compile or run it, make sure it works.
I mean, it doesn't crash.
It didn't crash, right? It did not crash. Okay, so we have the foo in there, kind of like that. Int works. We're going to start going a little more that you need to know. Int is how many bytes?
4.
It's going to be 4 bytes. And there's going to be that range of numbers that int can be. Just like in your Java book, the C++ book has that table that will show you the int family. And remember, we had like short int and long int and a whole bunch of different ones like that. Okay, so our primitive data types, the first one we had was int. Does anybody want to take a guess at a second data type? See if it's
Double.
double. Go ahead, try double. You're going to do man or number equals. And again, you see we're giving values right away. 52.456. And just curious if that's going to compile. And it does. Good. So we now have 2 of the 4 primitive data types from before. Another one was bool. Flag equals true. Okay. That was the third one. Is it? I wonder if it's bool. Is it going to be the word boolean? Is it? Well, we'll do a quick.
I mean, it bolded it, so I'm assuming that's right.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. In the old days, we didn't have colors and bolds and all of that. It just, we had, oh, boy, you folks would struggle. All right, so what was my 4th primitive data type?
Short.
Char. It was char. Let's see if char works. Go ahead, say, oh, it bolded it. Letter equals, char was in single quotes. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. And go to the end, and you know, if that's kind of working, yep, that's still working. Good. So far so good. Those were our 4 primitive data types. And if you remember, when I declared int foo, or if I declared double number, it went right to a memory location. And if I say foo, it goes to those 4 bytes and it checks out what's number that is there. Well, what's our next big data type?
String.
String. Let's see if string works here.
Doesn't look like it would.
Okay.
Let's try capitalizing it.
Should be a lowercase. I just made it.
It's nice when you type the first double quote, it gives you the second one. String words, blah, 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 and it
Oh, it did work.
worked. And it worked, okay? Does anybody remember what we called the string data type? It wasn't one of our 4 primitives. It was a what? It was a reference variable, okay?
Class, maybe?
A reference variable. So remember when, yeah, it is actually a class that was written and included, and that's something that we'll really get into. So that was actually a really good answer. If we go and again, if I say int foo, it creates how much, it finds a block of how much memory. Well, I already said 4 bytes. If I say char letter, it creates a block of how many bytes? Remember what?
4.
Char was not 4, char was,
1,
nope,
2.
2. Good guess. Yeah, 2. Let me see.
I'm assuming it's either UTF-8 or ASCII, so why would it be 2?
So yeah, char is ASCII. And to remember talking about char, char is 2 bytes. 2 bytes holds how many positions? What is 2 to the 2 to the 1 byte is 2 to the what?
2 to the 8 or
2 to the
256.
So 2 chars would be yeah, so we have 2 bytes, but so all that memory is going to come into play, and we're going to talk more and more about base 2 and the power of 2 and so on and so on. But yeah, my ASCII code, American Standard Code for Information Interchange, went from 0 to 255, which was a total of 256. Okay. What was a gig or excuse me, a kilobyte?
1024.
1024, right? It was 2 to the 10th power. So that came into play as well. All right. So when we get to string and we say words, we don't know how long a string is going to be because I could even add to it. I could concatenate on the end. But when I say string words, it needs to find a block of code. And what's stored in that block of code is a memory address. So unlike foo that had 4 bytes to store 42, words is going to be less than that. It's going to be the memory required to hold an address. That address is where blah, blah starts. Okay, so each one of these, when I do the first 2 parts, the data type and the variable name, it has a written rule. Here's the data type. Here's how much memory I want to start. The thing is, words holds a reference address. It's a reference variable. All right, so we're good with all of that. Making the variable names, we're using lowercase foo. You could also start them with an uppercase, just like Java. This is going to be case sensitive. Another big thing is an underscore. Okay, an underscore. Talking about variable types. Give me an example of something called Camelcase. Document. Do // Get rid of that. // Camelcase, right? I'm making a note. Give me an example of Camelcase. Well, just did, right? Camelcase. First word starts with lower, and then every word after that includes a capital. Okay. Now we got some kind of underline scores. This is actually called snake case. Snake case is where we separate words with underscores. So we have those options when you're declaring variable names. We have another one. What are you doing? Yep, that's an example of Camelcase. Just to mention those. All right, so let's stay in this program. We're having fun so far. So back in good old Java, we got into this and we learned about identifiers and we did all that. And then before we moved on, we hang on to all this, Nathan, because I'm going to have you post this later on the discussion board. Okay, so just making some notes in here. The next thing so hit some slashes and go to line 14 and put a couple of blank lines in. Okay, double case. Arithmetic operators. Type arithmetic operators. Okay.
Don't know if I spelled that right, but okay.
You didn't, but that's okay. Hit return. More documentation. What are our arithmetic operators? Plus, minus, slash, times, and modulus. And guess what? They are, in fact, all the same. So if I hit return, let's make some more notes. // What is 11/2? Anybody? Good. What is new line? What is 11/2.0?
Oh, 5.5.
Good. 5.5. Here we go. What is 41 mod 3?
Two.
2. Okay. It's the remainder. So we had integer division. We have real division. One of them is a real, then I'm going to get a real answer. But otherwise, I get an integer answer. 43 mod 3. 3 goes into 43 13 times, which is 39. And I get a remainder of 2. Okay, hit 2 more returns into a backslash. Type this, 6 space plus space 11 space slash space 2 space times, space, 41, space, mod, space, 3, plus 5.0, space, /2. Go ahead, folks, see if you can figure it out. Nathan, what I want you to do is create a C out statement with all of that so that we can check our answer.
Do I have to do like some kind of like 2-string conversion?
I don't know.
Right.
Don't run it yet.
21.5?
What's that?
Did 21.5?
I hear 21.5. We'll wait until we get 3 possible answers. Hopefully-
18.5,
What is it?
18.5.
I have an 18.5. Hopefully you're trying it on your own. You're not just typing it up like I had Nathan do.
I guess it's 9.5.
9.5?
Yeah, I don't know. It depends entirely on like the operator precedence here, which I don't know for C++. Is it the same for Java? Is it the same as Java? I don't know.
Yes, it'll, C++ and Java are really, really close to each other. Yep. Go ahead, Nathan, give it a run.
You all right?
See what we get. First of all, see if it works. Will it do all of those calculations?
9.5.
9.5 is the winner. Nice. All right, jump one out. Let's see what we have. What's going to happen first? 11 divided by 2 is 5. That would go first. 5 times 41 is 205. That would go second. 205 mod 3. That should give me
That
a
gives us 1.
just a 1, because 204, 2 and the 4 add together to give me a 6, so that should be divisible by 3. So that's just a 1. So now I have 6 plus 1, which will be 7, plus 2.5 is 9.5. Who was that? Good job. Nobody's taking credit for it?
That was me.
All right. Me got it right. Okay. You can stop sharing. You could save that for us, Nathan. If you can post it, that would be great.
All right, I'll post that later then.
So that I had to grab a piece of paper. I'm going to share my, or do this to my screen. I'm going to go to here. Hopefully you all are still having fun. I got that. I'm going to change my view to speaker. I'm going to go here. And I'm going to now say, I want you to write a program. Don't go anywhere yet, because I want you to follow along with my thought process. I want you to convert seconds to, convert seconds to hours, if there are any, minutes, and finally seconds. Okay? So here's your task. Don't do it yet. So the first thing I need to do is I want to start thinking of test data. So if I'm given a certain number of seconds, hours, minutes, and seconds, that it would become. If I said 0 seconds, what's this line become? Oh, zeros, clearly. Give me test data that you might want to try.
61.
60.
60 is great. 0, 1, 0. 61 is great. 0, 1, 1. 3600. That gives me 1, 0, 0. Kind of a, you notice I'm creating test data, but I'm not being goofy going, a 914. You know, that's something we can figure out. That might be our last one. But my first thoughts are to check, you know, what's going on here. What about
3651.
yeah, 3661. I have all of those crazy numbers. Okay. Then I want to make sure I do want to do a crazy one, like 10,000. Okay. So if I have 10,000, what's my process behind this? So I have data that I want to test with, but now I need to figure out how I actually want to write the program. So 10,000, what's the first thing I would do? Well, I'd want to find out how many hours there are. So how would I do that?
Divided by 60.
Yeah, I might take, so right now this is my seconds. So I might take hours, gets the value of my seconds divided by 3600. Is integer, excuse me, is integer division going to work? Yeah, yeah, okay. So if I do this, and you know, you're required to have math ability. So let's see, 2 of these is 7,200. So this is going to be 2 hours. And what do I now need to do? Well, I chopped off 2 hours. I took the 10,000 and I just chopped off 7,200, which is going to give me, you know, again, our math skills, 2,800. Well, no, wait a minute. I need to readjust my total of seconds. So after I take out all of the possible hours, I'm going to say seconds gets the value of, how did I get this seconds?
The number of hours times 360.
3600. Okay. And did what? Subtracted it from seconds?
Yeah.
Okay.
So sec minus.
I'm going to come back up here and do that. What's another way to do that? What was this, when I divided this, what was this called?
Seconds equals seconds
Remainder.
mod
It's a remainder, right?
3,600.
It's a remainder. So one way was to calculate the remainder this way. Another way outside the box is I just said I want remainder. So I'm going to take seconds and do what?
Mod 3600.
Seconds mod 3600. So that would be another way for that to get that 2,800. All right. I just took care of hours. Now I know seconds is 2,800. So now I want to be able to calculate my minutes. And after I calculate my minutes, I want to know how many seconds are left. So now by writing some stuff down, I think I'm going to have a little bit of luck with writing this program. So here's what I want you to do. Since we don't have input yet, I want you to hard code in seconds. Okay. And you can start with the 10,000 if you want, or one of these other ones. So just like Nathan did a moment ago, when he declared a variable type, he gave it a value right away. Do that. And then you have a couple of lines of code to calculate hours, the new seconds, minutes, the new seconds, and then display everything. Questions? I'm going to put you in breakout groups. When you are done, we are done. Hopefully somebody will post their solution to this. But you notice how it made it a lot easier by looking at some test data first, starting to do some algebra second. Now the coding part's going to kick in after that. Whew. Questions, comments? Tara has to go back to work. Not a problem. She already told me ahead of time. So I'm going to put,
Hey, so for that 2.5 program, where did you want me to post that?
under chapter 2.
Okay.
All right, thanks.
Chapters 1, 2, and 3 in
Yeah.
C++. Yeah, okay.
Okay, everybody, if you have questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you on Thursday.
Hey, Professor.
Yes.
I just realized this as we started class, but I think I may have registered for the wrong class.
Okay. Did you have 121 before?
No. So this is my first year. I had first year here at Hack.
Right.
So I had taken AP Computer Science last year,
Mm-hmm.
and I scored a 4
Yeah.
and tested out of this class. I'm pretty sure I went and double checked that. I'm pretty sure that's the one I actually tested, but I accidentally
You
I
should.
registered for this one.
The testing out should have been for CPS 121. There was a piece of paperwork somewhere that hadn't been updated. And I think you found that piece of paperwork. But what you did in the AP test was our Java course. That's why it's our first course, because it matches up with the AP test. So really, that should give you credit for 121. You should probably be in this course, because we're going to go through, and here's what I'm going to recommend to you. Do you have the textbook?
Not yet. And it's going to be a bit. I might be a little delayed in getting it.
Okay. I would recommend that you stay in this course, because there's a bunch of things like pointers and structs and quite a bit of stuff that you need to know going into 162. And you need to be like, I know my C++ and I can rip right through it.
Okay.
So yeah, there's
Good
an
to know, because
old piece of paperwork that students once in a while find, and we keep telling them to get rid of it. But the AP test should give you the 3 credits for the introductory Java course. I think you froze up. Thomas, you there? Oh yeah, there you are.
yeah, you froze for a minute there. From
Okay,
that's nice.
so that's what I recommend.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks. I was just confused because on College Board it says at Hackett the equivalent course is 162. I guess it's not.
No.
Because I was confused. Okay, this makes sense now, because that means when I sent the scores, they gave me credit for 121.
121, right.
Yeah. So
Yep.
that's why I'm in this class.
Yes.
I thought I made a mistake in registration, but I
Nope.
actually didn't.
Yeah, you're where you should be.
Okay, thanks for that.
All right, go help your breakout room.
Also, one more question.
Yeah.
I was writing through in Dev C++, and on the C outs, these left arrows,
Yep.
are they less than signs, or
Yep.
is there some other way to
Nope,
type
that's the
them?
less than sign. Yep, you have to type 2 of them.
I don't know. I'm just getting some error, but I don't know what it is.
Okay. Do you want to share? Do you want to go in your group?
Yeah,
and
hold
list
on.
them?
I can share it.
Okay.
Let's see. Do you see this?
Include iOS stream. We got all of that. I see semicolons, everything we were doing. Da. Okay, and you ran it. You got it. Did you get an error from the very beginning?
Yeah, when I first wrote the whole thing without all this extra
Okay.
stuff here.
Take all that out for now. You can always bring it back.
Yeah.
Go ahead and then run it.
I try to compile it. It starts compiling and then it's an error. I don't know what it is.
Are you there? I can't hear you.
Yeah, I compile it and it just says there's an error. Hold on, let me share the whole screen. And then yeah, and then so it just leaves an error down here. But
What's funny is are they double quotes or 2 single quotes in your
double quotes.
Because they should be green, not red.
I was wondering why there was a color difference, but I thought it was just something
Okay.
mine.
And when you run it, where does it give you an error message?
It doesn't, I can't make out where it's telling me the error is. Because it's just saying execution terminated. Usually in my past experience, it usually gives me a line where the error is, but
Okay,
I don't
go
see anything.
and delete all of your C outs.
Delete all of what?
Just get rid of the C out statements.
Oh, okay. Now try?
Yeah, because it's not going to do anything.
I It turned red.
It's still compiling.
Yeah, I don't know why it's taking a decent bit of time.
Just doesn't like you.
There, and there's an error. So I guess it's in the return statement.
Get rid of the return statement. Now go back and put a C out in, see what happens.
See out.
Less than, double quote, still red.
Mm.
Just put, yeah. Semicolon. Oh. Go ahead and run it.
I don't need an end line, I guess. But
I don't know why it's taking so long to compile.
me neither. I'll try
Sometimes,
and change that.
sometimes you get out and come back in and it may be different.
Yeah, I'll be closing some stuff and I'll see. Maybe it'll get faster.
Yeah, but I don't like that it's taken so long.
Me neither. I've never seen. It's never taken this long for me in past programming experiences.